So he sold newspapers, then built $1 billion empires, right? The unstoppable rise of Dhirubhai Ambani. They loved when he sold peanuts and newspapers, but they stopped laughing when he built one of the biggest business empires in India's history. This is the unbelievable, true story of a man who had no family wealth, no prestigious degree, and no connections. At Rose, from the dusty streets of a small Indian village to become the founder of Reliance Industries, multi-billion dollar, conglomerate, right? This is the story of Dhirubhai Ambani, the man who rewrote the rules of business in India forever. So here, humble, beginnings. I will start from the humble beginning, right? A boy with a big dream. Dhirubhai Ambani was born on 28th of December 1932 in Chorwad, right, a small village in Gujarat in India. His father was a school teacher, earning a meager salary, right. Life was tough, money was scarce. The family often struggled to meet basic needs. From a young age, Dhirubhai understood, that if he wanted a better life, he had, have to create it himself. While other kids played, Dhirubhai Ambani sold snacks and obviously newspapers at bus stops to extra income, right. Okay, he was sharp, observant and always curious. He would often ask, why are the rich? What makes them different? Those questions stayed with him. A leap of faith, journey to MN. At the age of 17, without a college degree, Okay, so Dhirubhai Ambani moved to Aden, MN in search of job, right. There he started working a petrol pump attendant, for a company called Bass and Co. Okay, so earning just a few rupees a month, but he is where it gets interesting. Instead of just doing his job, he started watching how oil trading worked, how goods were imported and exported, and how international markets operated. He didn't just work for money, he worked to learn. Within a few years, he rose to become the manager of the company's oil and marketing division. Still he wanted more. He had seen how international trade could create wealth. So in 1958, he returned to India with nothing but 15,000 enormous ambition, and a dream to build something big. The birth of resilience, right? The birth of Reliance. I mean to say, one room office to a giant empire. Back in Mumbai, Dhirubhai Ambani started a small textile trading company, called Reliance Commercial Corporation. His first office here, a tiny 350 square feet room, with just one table, 3 chairs, and a rotary phone, right. So here, he imported, polyester yarn from abroad and sold it to local traders, right. So business began to grow. But he didn't stop at trading. He wanted to manufacture his own product, control quality and build a brand. So in 1966, he set up his first textile mill in Naroda, Gujarat. Soon he launched a brand of fabric called Bimal, named after his nephew, and Bimal sarees and shirts became the household name across India. Dhirubhai wasn't just building a business, he was building trust, aspiration and dreams, right. So visionary moves here, stock market and public trust. While most Indian businesses were run by rich families and funded by banks, Dhirubhai did something bold. In 1970s, he took Reliance public and allowed ordinary Indians to become shareholders. This was revolutionary, right. So here, for the first time, a common man could own a piece of a big company. Thousands investments thousands invested in Reliance, and Dhirubhai was obviously Dhirubhai made sure they were rewarded. As the company grew, so did the wealth of its shareholders. He said, I dream of an India where the poorest can have the same opportunity as the richest. So yeah, battles, betrayals, and breakthroughs. So with the success, came criticisms, competition, and enemies, right? He was accused of manipulating the system, right, breaking rules and using political connection. There was attack. There was attack on his company, raids and public scandals, right? But Dhirubhai Ambani was never afraid of a fight. He used strategy, intelligence, and sheer willpower to face every storm, right? Okay, so if you don't build your dream, someone will hire you to build theirs. He wasn't building just a company, he was building a movement. So legacy is what the giant he built. Okay, so by the time of his death in 2002, Dhirubhai Ambani has built Reliance Industries, India's largest private sector enterprise, businesses in petrochemicals, okay, telecom, textiles, energy, and retail, a company with over 3 million shareholders, the most in the world at that time. A legacy that would be carried forward by his son Mukesh Ambani and Anil Ambani. Here today's Reliance is one of the most valuable companies in India, and it all started with a boy selling newspaper on the roadside. What can we learn from Dhirubhai Ambani's life? Your background doesn't define your future. Born into poverty, no elite education, no special contacts, at the built $1 billion company. It's not where you start, it's how you move forward. Dream big, start small, act fast, right? From a 350 square feet in office to a global empire, everything big starts small, right? Learn while you earn. Learn while you earn, right? At the petrol pump, Dhirubhai wasn't just working, he was obviously absorbing knowledge, and like a sponge. Be bold, be different, right? He took Reliance public when no one else dared. He trusted the common man, and they trusted him back. Challenges are part of the journey. He's faced allegations, right, attacks, betrayals, but never gave up. Greatness demands resilience. So the final word, the legacy of a legend here: think big, think fast, think ahead. Ideas are no one's monopoly. Dhirubhai Ambani. The statement of Dhirubhai Ambani that think big, think fast, think ahead. Ideas are no one's monopoly. Okay, so he didn't just build a business. He built an idea that even the poorest child in the village can dream big and succeed, right? His story is not just about business. It's about hope, courage, grit, and relentless ambition. To this day, Dhirubhai Ambani remains a beacon of inspiration for entrepreneurs, dreamers, and anyone who dares to chase the impossible. So yeah.